Good.
Good afternoon. 12:10 session is reserved for the North Carolina Tar Heels. They are the number one seed in this region. They are out of the Atlantic Coast Conference and advanced here from Columbus, where they defeated Iona and Washington. They'll play number 5 seed Auburn in tomorrow night's first game at 6:30. The head coach is Roy Williams. He'll be here in a little while. The men's basketball contacts are Steve Kirscher and Matt Bowers. Up on the dais, we have Kenny Williams and Cameron Johnson representing the student body. We have an opening statement from Cam Johnson, then we'll go to questions. Cam, please.
Opening statement. Okay, here we go. Had a good week of practice this week. Got out here safely and looking forward to what's to come.
There you go.
There it is.
Start right here. Thank you.
Kenny, you can answer this. Cameron, you also can. Brett Friedlander, North State Journal. Coach Pearl was up here talking about how difficult a matchup you guys were for them. What about the Auburn gives you the most concern, and why is it a tough matchup for you guys?
Kenny, please.
They shoot the ball so well, and it's kind of weird because you think about getting back in transition, you think about protecting the basket, but they like to run to the three-point line and get those threes in transition. So, you got to make some adjustments, and but the biggest thing is the way they shoot the ball. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, they shoot a lot of threes. They make a lot of threes, and they've been doing that pretty well, especially of late. And so we're going to have to pay special attention to that.
Right on the aisle there, Katie. Thank you.
Brooke Pryor, Kansas City Star. Kenny, for you, in years where UNC's been really good, 05, 09, 17, there's been a 2-3 tweener guy really good on defense. The Jack Emanuel, Marcus Ginyard, you. Is Brandon Robinson kind of the next guy in that line of guys that's good on defense, big energy, comes off the bench and just gives that spark?
Yes, I think so. Just because B-Rob, he's willing to sacrifice his body, points, whatever it may be, to bring energy. And B-Rob just comes in off the bench. He makes the right play. He plays hard and he plays with energy. And that's you always need a guy like that. And he's done a great job of filling that role for us this year. And I think next year he'll be able to step in and with an expanded role, and I think he'll take off with it.
Yes, wait for the mic. That'd be no problem.
Kenny, do you see a lot of yourself in Brandon and his development and kind of the path that he's taken?
Yeah, a little bit. His first 2 years weren't the easiest, I'm sure. But I'm just happy for him with the success that he's having this year. He stuck with it and he fought, and he just kept working hard. And I think that's why he's had the success that he's had this year and the success he will have next year. And the paths were somewhat the same. It wasn't the easiest, but everything always comes around, and it's coming around for B-Rob right now.
Dave Scretta of the Associated Press. Kenny, could we just get an update on your hamstring? And then also Naz has apparently got the flu and is going to be questionable. So if he's not able to go tomorrow, if he's limited in any way, what does that do for y'all?
Well, first off, my hamstring is feeling pretty good. I did a little bit of practice yesterday. I'll practice today. But I don't think it'll be any setback for me in terms of Nas, though. We're hoping he's going to be out there. I'm sure Doug and Jonas will do everything they can, to get him back feeling strong and feeling healthy. But if the unfortunate thing is if he doesn't play, we got guys that can step up. Of course, we want him out there. We don't want anybody to not be able to play, but if he doesn't, like I said, we got guys that step up. We've got B-Rob, we've got Sev, and we got our guys in the starting lineup that that can play more minutes if we have to. Nas is just someone that can come off the bench that can give you 15 to 20 minutes and he'll be effective. But if he's not there, it's nothing that we're not used to. We're used to guys not being able to play. So somebody will step up, and it's only a matter of who.
Come right back here. Thank you.
So Cam, Coach has got a pretty good history here in Kansas. Do you notice anything different now that he's back here? Is he looser? Is he more on edge? Or is it just he's so focused you really can't tell?
He's so focused you really can't tell. On the way over here from the hotel, he's telling us stories about when he had to travel all around the world to get home and back for Christmas. And so he's pretty much himself right now. And, he's good old coach.
Yep. No problem. We got time.
Yeah.
Either one of you guys, you really dominated the boards. Cam, I guess you're more of an inside guy. You can talk to this, but Kenny, you give me the dirty look, so you can answer it too. So, but you guys dominated the boards last week, even more than usual. Their weakness is rebounding, and your strength is rebounding. So, how do you take full advantage of it against these guys?
Cameron, lead us off.
What did you have against Washington?
Yeah,
More than 3?
4.
Yeah, he out-rebounded me against Washington, so I really I came up short, but everybody else did what they were supposed to do, so I'll have to get a couple more this game. But we just got to keep going. We got to keep going, and that's the thing about offensive rebounding. It's just about getting there and getting yourself in the right position. Sometimes the ball falls to you, sometimes it doesn't, but the more bodies you throw at it, the better off you are. And then I think we do a pretty good job of covering up back in transition defense and kind of sprinting to both ends of the floor that way. So it's going to be a big part of our game plan going forward, and it's something that we really do hang our hat on.
Yep. Kenny?
I mean, that's just what we do. It's like you said, it's our strength. So we're gonna try to go out there and out-rebound anybody by 30 if we can. And we haven't emphasized it anymore just because of their rebounding numbers. Coach emphasizes it enough, even if it's a team that can rebound the ball. So that's what we're doing. Like I said, we'll focus on what we can do, and rebound is one of them.
That's fine. Is there anything else for the gentleman from North Carolina? Yes, on the aisle. Thank you.
The Auburn coach was saying that you guys consider an offensive rebound like 3 seconds, or a defensive rebound, 3 seconds from a layup at the other end. I'm wondering how you guys put into words the tempo that you prefer.
Cameron?
Coach emphasizes every practice, and when we get the ball, he says run. And if somebody's not running, he yells at them to run. And he yells at us over and over and over about it, even when you're dog-tired at the end of practice. So it's not a thing for us. It's not like we're defensive rebound 3 seconds to a layup. We don't really think of that. We just go out there, and when somebody gets the ball, rebound, we take off. And a big thing of what we want to do is kind of getting some separation between the point guard and the wings running the floor and the big running the floor. And they've been on us pretty hard about that recently. But again, we practice it a lot, we work on it a lot, and it's just what we like to do.
Okay, anything else for the Tar Heels? Gentlemen, thank you very much, and best of luck tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Good job. Good luck. Thank you, Cam. Thank you. Sure. They're the only team I don't know, but they're last, so I got a little time. Once I find out, I'll pass it on. Okay. I'm just trying to decide what to do. I got the others at the meeting this morning, but they weren't prepared to tell me. All right. Roy Williams is scheduled at 12:25. Head coach of North Carolina is here for 15 minutes, Coach Roy Williams. We're going to ask him to make a statement on his team about being in Kansas City, and then we will go to questions. Roy, please.
Okay, thanks, Joe. We're happy to be here. Every coach is going to say that, and there's being very truthful. As longer you play, the more you enjoy it. My team has gotten a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better throughout the course of the season. I played pretty well last week in Columbus. Need to play really well here. Watched the Kansas Auburn tape, and it was scary. There's no question about that. But Bruce has done a great job with his team, and the kids have responded well. So we're looking to hopefully play well.
Reminder, name and affiliation on the questions. The first one's right here in the aisle. Thank you.
Roy Luke DeCock, Raleigh News and Observer. I understand you didn't get it from Coach Smith, but your number of teams left on the board celebration, or where did you come up with that, and how did that get started?
We started it in 1991. That was our first run to the Final Four, and I have no idea where it came from. It just seemed like a nice thing to do. I think Coach Smith, when I was working for him, he talked about how each step was really so much more fun, so we thought about it a little bit at that time, but I really can't tell you. It's just something I fell into. I still use a regular grip and don't use crossover or putting, so I still do that too.
Right here.
Coach Kate Carlton, the South Boston News Record. Auburn as a team has shot the three ball extremely well this season. As a team, how do you kind of combat that defensively tomorrow night?
Well, we better get out and guard them. There's no question about that. I mean, it's what they've done is off the charts. North Carolina's been pretty good and had some pretty good shooting teams. And last year we made 305, and this year we made 305, and Auburn's made 421. So that's another couple of leagues away from what we are. But you got to get out and guard them. You try to make them stop them from getting out in transition, because that's where they shoot a lot of them, is in transition. So don't turn it over and don't take bad shots, which lead them out to the runouts. And the other thing, you got to be tough enough to guard your man, so nobody has to help you every possession. And then, because as soon as you help, they find the open man, and everybody can shoot it. I mean, they've got a whole team full of green lights.
Kyle Tucker, The Athletic. The numbers say you guys are playing at an unusually breakneck pace. Sort of how, why, what makes that happen for you?
Well, we've done it every year I've been a coach. That's just the way we play. I've never had a team that played as fast as I wanted them to play, and this one too. I mean, I want us to play a heck of a lot faster than we're playing, but I do believe in getting a quality shot at the end of it. If you talk to our guys, if they were to come around and I say attack, 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 and I pause and they say under control. And so it is, but it's the way that we've always played. And when I played 100 years ago, I loved playing that way, and I think fans like to see it. And the only group left is coaches, and I don't necessarily think the game was meant for my enjoyment, which is not a lot, I could tell you. Yes.
The left side here, Roy. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Roy. John Huang, NOLA Media. As your team is advancing through the tournament, there are also a lot of coaches who are losing their jobs, so it makes us really realize how difficult it is to do what you guys do. You've been doing it a long time. It's a very, very competitive profession, and yet you don't seem to have made many enemies along the way. So I just wanted to know what is the secret?
You're moving in an awfully small group of people, John.
What's the secret of you developing such positive relationships with other coaches, the media, and administrators?
Well, the coaches, first of all, my high school coach was the most influential man in my life. My parents broke up when I was very young, and my mother was the angel of the world, but my high school basketball coach set a standard for me that I'll never be able to reach. And then when I get in college, I was there with Coach Smith, and he set a standard that I'll never be able to reach. But I do really like coaches. And for the most part, I believe coaches get into the game because they love the game and love working with teams, love working with kids. And so it's a group that I feel a great deal of friendship with. And I have a great deal of respect for so many coaches. And you mentioned the media. I don't know that I probably have some enemies in the media that just don't say too much, but when I first got the job at Kansas 31 years ago, I told all of them, I will try to do everything I can to help you do your job as long as you don't harm me from doing mine. And I'm straightforward with that part of it. And then people themselves, I like people. You know, I don't have a problem. Somebody says, don't you get tired of doing an autograph or doing a picture? I said, no, what I would get tired of is if I walked into a room and you saw me and you went out the other door, I would really get tired of that. But there's a couple of guys in this room that I've been around for several years, and somebody that's even got an old gray beard in the back I remember from a long time ago. So, and there's 2 or 3 of you, Jerry just doesn't have a beard.
Coach, Todd Lebo, Sports Radio 810 here in Kansas City. You mentioned coaching and loving to coach. Same thing Coach Pearl just said when he was up here before. There have been a few black eyes running around the college basketball right now. What's your sense of, where basketball is and the perception of what's been going on off the court, and what can be done to fix that?
Well, that's a hard answer, and I've only got 6.5 minutes left, so I could use all of that. But I don't enjoy it, but at the same time, I've even been criticized because I don't move in that world. I've been a head coach for 31 years. I've never had a parent ask me for anything. I don't deal with agents. I wear shoes, but that's what I do with them. I don't do anything else with those people. But there's no question it's a black eye right now, I think is the terminology used. But that's what we have in society right now, too. There's a lot of things going on in our world that I'm not happy about. The NCAA was formed in about 1906, and it was formed because President Roosevelt said that there were some things going on in football recruiting, that one school was trying to steal players from the other school. So we've had problems like that all the time. But now with social media and the attention, and everybody's got a camera, everything's out in the public. But I really have not. I have not been approached, and I make decisions. I look at situations, say, that's probably not going to be our kind of situation. I love dealing with parents, and but it's bothersome to me. Yes, it's gets so much attention. Yes, that bothers me too, because I think there's a lot of great things going on in college basketball, particularly. I mean, you sit back there and you listen to Cam, Kenny, and Luke talk, and you got to like those guys. And there's a bunch of those guys out there, and there's a bunch of coaches out there that give me that same kind of feeling.
We are halfway through the session. We have 3 questions up. Go, please.
Okay.
Brett Friedlander, North State Journal. Roy, I know you like to say that you wouldn't mind bringing your team to play on the moon as long as you're still playing.
Yeah.
But is there anything special about being back here in Kansas? And then the other thing is, have you or do you plan on spitting in the river before tomorrow's game?
I'm going to sneak around and do what I want to do without telling anybody. But there is a river, and it does go into the Mississippi. That's what I was told 100 years ago, that spitting in the Mississippi was good luck. And so those are the places that I've been if it eventually gets to the Mississippi. I don't spit in the French Broad up in the mountains of North Carolina. It's fun to come back here. I met a couple of my buddies last night, a couple of our former players. I'm going to have some former Kansas players coming to the game. My family's going to be here because Scott and his family's coming, and he's got a bunch of buddies that he gets to see. And Wanda's having lunch today with one of her good friends. And I have a tremendous number of friends that are really, really important to me. I shouldn't say tremendous number of friends. I have friends who are tremendously important to me that I will get a chance to see, and I spent some time with them last night.
Jerry Tipton, Lexington Herald Leader. I'm wondering about Auburn's style of play, and is it different from other teams? Is it more dangerous with the threes?
Jerry, when they're making shots like that, like they did in the first half against Kansas, it's hard for anybody to beat them. That's just the facts. And so you hope that they miss some on their own, and you hope you guard them, and that helps influence them missing some. But no, it's really impressive what they did. And we've played with teams that wanted to play a fast pace. We like to do it after a make or a miss. Auburn does it more out of a miss or a turnover than they do after a make. But that pace and shooting that three-point shot that quickly is hard to handle if they're making those shots like they were.
Roy, what can you tell us about Nasir and his illness, and what will go into whether or not he plays tomorrow?
Didn't feel good last night. Was running a little bit of a temperature, running more of a temperature this morning. Didn't feel like eating. I didn't even bring him over here to the arena with us. I have no idea. I can say it's hard to make a 180-degree turn because there's no way in the world he could play if we were playing today. I mean, he's sitting there and he has a plate in front of him, and he felt like it made it look to me like it was hard to pick up that fork, and the last time I looked, it wasn't that heavy. So I don't foresee making a decision until game time, but if he's like he is now, I mean, there's no way he can play.
2 questions in the back. 1, 2, go.
Brooke Pryor, Kansas City Star. Roy, in 05, you guys had Jackie Manuel. 09, Marcus Ginyard. 17, Kenny Williams. Is Brandon Robinson the next guy in that line of the 2-3 tweeners, really defensive-minded, that bring that spark off the bench?
Well, you know, Kenny Williams, again, is the best perimeter defender we have, but B-Rob has gotten better and better. The only problem is B-Rob likes people, and he tends to hug them away from the ball. And, you know, sometimes the referee's standing right there and calls him a foul, and sometimes that means he's way over there when the ball's being driven to the basket. But he has gotten better and better, and he's important to our club. And I think if he continues to invest in that part of it on the defensive end of the floor, he's really going to be more important to us in the future. But you can watch him. He'll hug somebody tomorrow.
Ross Martin, Inside Carolina. To follow Luke's question, if Nas can't go, how does that kind of affect your team? What do you miss? How do you fill that void?
Well, guys, you know, we had breakfast at 10:30, you know, so I haven't exactly got our staff together and talked about it for 10 hours, but we've played without Nasir in moments already this year. He was playing, his basketball was going up and up and up, and he sprains his ankle and doesn't play much in the Virginia game, and then gets poked in the eye in the next game, or vice versa. I forget which it was. And then he started going to leveling off and not going on that upward spiral like we wanted him to. In the last 2 games last weekend, he was sensational, you know. And so if he's going to play like that all the time, we're going to miss that greatly because we don't have anybody can do those things that he did. But we've, like I say, we've had to play without certain guys. I mean, couldn't be any worse than it was last weekend. I mean, Garrison Brooks, our most solid defender, post player, he goes out, and I don't think we're going to get him back. And then Kenny goes down, and I don't think we're going to get him back. And, you know, Garrison had surgery and all kinds of stuff, and but they were able to come back and play. But somebody in Kansas, somebody in Kansas, somebody at Auburn, somebody at Kentucky, somebody in every school's got to step up and play, and there's somebody in a North Carolina uniform's got to be able to step up and play tomorrow. Yes.
You have a question? Any question? Yeah, on the aisle.
Bahe, you doing all right, son? Yes, I am, Roy. You and Jerry, it's hard to see, but I think you are the 2 oldest guys in here other than me. Well, Blair's not as old as I am, and I can see Blair now too. But you and Jerry are up there with the senior citizens.
I almost would like to let him ask now. Tom
He's
Martin,
more experienced. I don't know if he's any smarter, but he's more experienced.
I'm going to hang on to that one. Tom Martin with KCTV. Now that you've coached more years in Chapel Hill than Lawrence, any new reflections on that time? I know when you come back here, it's always brought up.
Well, you know, it's been harder the times that I've come back here because I'm getting ready to play Kansas. I mean, let's be honest, that's been really, really difficult for me. Lawrence, Kansas, University of Kansas, Allen Fieldhouse, that was 15 great years to me, 15 years that I really loved. And that's the way I look back on it. Coming back and playing Kansas here, playing them the next year in St. Louis and those kind of things, it isn't pleasant because of my feeling for that school and a lot of the people. And I come in today and I see 3 or 4 great friends somebody giving me my wristband and everything else, and I enjoy that part of it. But the way I look on it is that when I got to Kansas, they went through 93 people, and I was the 94th person they interviewed, and they gave me the job. But I had 15 great years there and loved it every minute. And but it was time for me to move on, and it's been 16 years in North Carolina now, and I was able to go back home, and my sister and my dad passed away the first 2 years after I got back, so I was glad that I was closer for them, and some things like that. But no, I've been a very lucky guy, to say the least. Anybody else?
No.
All right, guys.
Good
Thank
luck,
you very
Roy.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.